I be like, sheesh, sunset on the beach. Make me wanna pull up on Miami with the heat. I don't know
Hey
about
everyone, and welcome back to the Anytime Sports Podcast Show. I'm your host Colin here with the other co-host Andrew, and we're gonna go through some NFL news that we just missed last week. So let's go over the Super Bowl first as well. Andrew, do you want to kick us off with the Super Bowl?
Yes, most definitely. So obviously, all of you guys have seen by now, but the Chiefs came on top 38-35 in a very close game, a game where the Eagles were ahead, and the Chiefs came back. Chiefs came back to fight. They were the stronger team in the end, but yeah, I mean, the Chiefs played great. I watched. Most of us probably watched the game. Patrick Mahomes was a little banged up at the beginning of the game. He came back probably after some horse tranquilizers in his ankle. And
Something like that.
some illegal substances and stuff, but yeah, Chiefs came back to win it. They made it work with the receivers they had, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean it was a good game as well. My roommate's looking at me right now. Hi, Hubert. Yeah. All right. Sounds good, Hubert. Oh, sorry about that, but yeah, I mean this game early, Philadelphia got out to an early lead, and I think they blew
Okay.
us in the Super Bowl itself. So that's huge. I mean, you can't score 11 points and expect to win in the second half, especially against this Chiefs team. I mean, the Chiefs just were better. They were better. I mean, the Eagles the offense did not do well in the second half, and they started off good, but then they couldn't finish it, and that's what plagued the Eagles, and it was an uphill battle.
Yeah, the Eagles really couldn't get their run game started, which is what carried them during the season. And they had a couple good passes to A.J. Brown. Jalen Hurts had 3 rushing touchdowns, but really they couldn't pull everything together in order to beat the Chiefs. But
It
great
just
game.
seemed
Yeah.
like the Chiefs had such a good defense, and I think they really came out to play in this game. Stopping the run game, Jalen Hurts had 15 carries, 70 yards. He had 3 touchdowns, but I mean, Jalen Hurts had an outstanding performance, and too bad it's going to go down as a loss for him because he probably would have been the Super Bowl MVP if they won. But Isaiah Pacheco was a surprise in this game. I feel like he had a few very aggressive runs. He got 15 carries for 76 yards and a touchdown, which is very good for Chiefs standards, and I think it kept Philadelphia on their heels. I know that rush defense is immaculate for the Philadelphia Eagles, but I feel like Isaiah Pacheco was able to hit a couple holes and when he needed to, and rush for a touchdown, which was huge in keeping the game balanced.
Yeah, I think that's really what the Chiefs needed in this game. They needed to come off because the Eagles are probably thinking they were a strong passing team, which they were during the season. They come off with their strong rusher, Isaiah Pacheco, and then he comes off rushing, catch the Eagles on their heels, off guard, and they come out and win this thing. Patrick Mahomes was 21 for 27 with 182 yards, so he did have a great day in passing as well. Travis Kelce was the top receiver with 81 yards. But yeah, the Chiefs really pulled it together and pulled out a good win.
Oh yeah, I mean the Chiefs. Congratulations to them. They had a good season. Nobody was really down on them. They just lost a couple pieces. They came back, and the rookies played well in the Super Bowl. The cornerback matchups was a huge thing coming into this thing, and I mean the cornerbacks did give up one long to A.J. Brown down the field, but I feel like they held their own, or they are at least manageable. I mean, the worst thing for Philadelphia, if you look at it, is time of possession. Philadelphia had the ball for 35 minutes versus Kansas City's 24. They could have done something, and I feel like this was a great game, and the way it came down to at the end, I mean, it's just heartbreaking for Philadelphia because they had a shot in this game, but they absolutely blew it in that second half.
Yeah, most definitely. The Eagles really let this game up in the second half. This game was really a second half game. The Chiefs came back, pulled up some solid drives back to back. Eagles let up a lot of scoring drives, but yeah, I think that's really what sealed it for the Chiefs is that second half of the game.
Oh, definitely. Let's head into some NFL news. Do you want to kick us off with some NFL news, some breaking news?
Yeah, really the first one that comes to mind with me is Bobby Wagner was released from the Rams. Do you have any opinions on that?
Bobby Wagner, I think that was a cap-saving move right there. I don't see any reason why they would cut him, but I feel like it was a cap saving move because of the cap situation they're in. I feel like Bobby Wagner is going to sign with a contender. I think he's at a point of his career where he values more rings than he does money. So I think he's going to take a cut and go somewhere. And someone who has a lot of money and I think is a very valuable option. And I think it's you got to look at Cincinnati. I mean, they were one game away from maybe making it to the Super Bowl. I mean, they're a really good team. Let's see if they can do it. Who knows?
Yeah, I really think he needs to go to a contender. Like you said, the Bengals are one of the teams with the top most money in the league. They need to bring in a veteran like Bobby Wagner, who's had that experience in Super Bowls and experience in the league for this long. So we'll have to see where he ends up. But he's definitely. I don't think he's hanging it up yet. He's still got a couple years left. But you got to see where he lands.
Kyle Trask is now the quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers after Tom Brady retires. Bruce Arians believes that the Buccaneers are in good hands with QB Kyle Trask. What are your thoughts on Kyle Trask taking over for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
I mean, they have no other option unless they want to sign Jimmy G or Derek Carr. But really, that's the only option at this point with Tom Brady gone.
I think you roll the dice, and I think he's been sitting under Tom Brady a little bit. Let's give him a shot. Let's see what he can do. Worst comes to worst, you finish last in the draft and pick a quarterback at the top. I mean, that's the worst case scenario. Let's see what this guy has, and let's get a competent backup. So if he does really bad, we can place in somebody else. But yeah. Who knows on that aspect?
Yeah, the Titans also did cut a lot of their players. They cut Robert Woods. They cut Taylor Lewan, one of their starting linemen, and they cut their kicker Randy Bullock. I think it's just a lot of cap clearing options and guys whose contracts are getting up and they're taking up a lot of money. So the Titans are probably clearing some money there.
Cardinals GM is still evaluating DeAndre Hopkins' future, saying, "I'm excited that D-Hop is on the team." Is D-Hop going to be a Cardinal at the beginning of the season, or is he going to go somewhere else, and where would he go, Andrew?
I've seen multiple teams out there. Obviously, one is the Chicago Bears. I don't know if they want to grab him or not, but any team that really needs a wide receiver, only other team that comes to mind for me is I guess he'd want to go to a contender, so maybe depending the Bengals, what they do, because they have money. Maybe what they do if they get rid of T. Higgins or Tyler Boyd, trade him for some more money. Maybe they could pick him up. I don't really know at this point, but the Bengals have money, so we'll have to see.
I think I don't know where he's gonna go. I think it's gonna probably see who will give the most for him. I don't think he'll get a choice at where he wants to go, but I think definitely I think they're gonna move on from him, trade him. I don't know where exactly he goes, but another interesting target and a couple possibilities is quarterback Lamar.
Yeah.
If they don't sign him, there's been rumors they might trade him in a place that looks and feels like he might get there is the Falcons. I really like that pick right there. If he does go to the Falcons, I think that would be great. But who knows? It would probably ended up have to be a trade because they'll franchise tag him and then trade him. But who knows with Lamar Jackson? What are your thoughts on the contract situation, and what are your thoughts on a team he could go to?
Yeah, there's really one team that comes to mind with me, a team that played well this year despite a quarterback, the New York Jets. They had Breece Hall, they had Garrett Wilson stand out this year. Their defense was great. They would have been contenders if they had that quarterback. Zach Wilson was holding them back. They had Mike White. He was cooking, then he got hurt, so I think Jets pick up Lamar Jackson for they have some good picks. Trade some picks to the Ravens. You get Lamar Jackson. That team's going to be really solid.
Very much so. Where do you think quarterback Derek Carr is going? He's been rumored New Orleans Saints, but who knows? He was released from the Las Vegas Raiders. Where do you see quarterback Derek Carr going?
I would agree with what you saw. I'd say the Saints, they need a quarterback. Jameis Winston has been injured. The Saints, they've been struggling. I think bring Derek Carr to the Saints, or I could also see him going to the Bucs. Maybe they want that veteran backup for Kyle Trask in case if he goes down. You have that guy there. But also,
I don't.
yeah,
I don't think Derek Carr's going anywhere where he could be a backup. I think he wants to be a starter right now, and I think he's gonna have a little chip on his shoulder to maybe do something. Who knows? With the quarterback situation, I think it's all. I think the league is kind of waiting on quarterback Aaron Rodgers and Lamar Jackson to see what will go on. And speaking of Aaron Rodgers, he said he was going to go into a dark retreat before he decided on where he was going. So who knows? And the Jets are one of the teams that we're waiting on to hear his decision. The Jets are very interesting. They need to win now. They got a lot of guys on rookie deals. This is a win now situation. You're not going to be able to pay all those first round draft picks that you had. So who knows in that situation? They need a quarterback. Derek Carr is right there. I think that's their last choice scenario is Derek Carr, but also on a contract year going out. The New York Giants is Saquon Barkley. It's been rumored that the deal is not where both sides want him. And if he does end up hitting the free agency market, who do you see him going to? And what team?
Yeah, that's definitely if he does hit the free agency market. I think they will get something to work because he is pretty much what carried that team this year to the playoffs. But I think I would say, well, I'm hoping the Chicago Bears, if they release David Montgomery, or if they don't re-sign him, they take Saquon because he's a star running back and they have money. Saquon shows what he can do. Basically just a team that needs a running back, I think. But, yeah, that's pretty much what I would believe.
Another quarterback that we haven't been talking about much, mostly because of the backup having extreme success. But right now, Jimmy Garoppolo is planned to be released by the San Francisco 49ers. And Jimmy G is an interesting pick because I could see him going anywhere. I could see him going to Tampa Bay. I can see him going to the Falcons. I could see him going to the Jets. He's got some options, and I feel like Jimmy Garoppolo is a better option over even maybe Derek Carr at some points. But where do you think that Jimmy Garoppolo is going to go?
Hot take, I think Jimmy Garoppolo could end up with Derek Carr's old team, the Raiders. They need a quarterback after this season, but I definitely could see him ending there with Darren Waller and then Devontae Adams, bringing Derek Carr there, or maybe even Aaron Rodgers, reuniting him with Devontae Adams in Las Vegas. You got to see.
And there was, of course, some new head coach hirings, including Jonathan Gannon. He now is the Cardinals head coach. He was the defensive coordinator for the Eagles in this past Super Bowl run. What are your thoughts on him as a coach?
I mean, the Cardinals basically coming off of a bad season firing Cliff Kingsbury. Cliff Kingsbury proved that he was not a good head coach. I mean, the Cardinals, Kyler Murray isn't bad. They have D-Hop. They have a solid defense with Budda Baker. They just gonna make it work. Maybe get a defensive-minded coach in there. Maybe get a guy that understands the system a bit more, understands the defense a bit more, and then you could get some wins out of that.
The Commanders hired offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy. How do you think this will affect their team and in the future? And, of course, they're going with Sam Howell.
Yeah, I mean, just having that guy, the coach with the veteran experience there, to pretty much just give the confidence to that young Sam Howell. When he did play this year, he was injured for most of the season, but he did show he could play. So I don't know if that's the quarterback they're going to go with in the future or if they're going to draft one in the next coming years. But Commanders is really.
They said they were going to roll the season with him, and I think it's very interesting that they hired him as an offensive coordinator, not a head coach. I don't know what they believe in him, and I don't know why he accepted another offensive coordinator job, especially now with the Chiefs. I don't know why he wouldn't go from offensive coordinator of the Chiefs to a head coach. We will never know. We don't know what goes into hiring a head coach, but he is more than well qualified for getting an NFL head coaching job. Maybe he just doesn't want one. We don't know exactly what's going on. Robert Woods and Taylor Lewan, both from the Tennessee Titans, they're both been released. They're in a cap pinch as well. Sean Payton, He is the coach of the Denver Broncos. What are your thoughts on saving the Broncos organization with Sean Payton?
Sean Payton, definitely. Nathaniel Hackett was the problem with that team this past year. I think you bring a guy in there like Sean Payton who shows he can coach, who has won Super Bowls in the past. Russell Wilson, he's won a Super Bowl in the past too. You bring a good coach in there. Russell Wilson had an offseason, I believe. Although people believe that was Nathaniel Hackett, I think that was Russell Wilson having a bad year. Come back after this offseason, coming out with a high-firing team in a division that is really high stakes with the Chiefs in it. Sean Payton hopefully can bring the Broncos together and have them compete for first place with the Chiefs. But we really have to see after the season they had this year.
They can compete, and I feel like they're losing a couple people though. They're on the cap, and they're going to lose a lot of people, especially in free agency. Hey, big name including Jerry Jeudy. I don't think he'll stay long, but I don't know what's going to happen with them. I mean, they're hugely in the cap. They're going to pay Russ a lot of money. Can they work around it? Can they still build a Super Bowl team, especially in the AFC with that high power division? We don't know, but we're here to find out, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's really just the whole NFL is up in the air in the offseason. It's really like for the quarterback situation, like you said, it's waiting for Aaron Rodgers to make that decision. Because a lot of teams need a quarterback. With Tom Brady going out, the Bucs, they said they're going with Kyle Trask, but are they really going to do that? The Jets need a quarterback. The Raiders probably need a quarterback. The Falcons need a quarterback. A lot of teams out there need a quarterback. You got to see who can show up and ball out this year. But yeah, you got to really see who emerges.
Who knows where things are going to go? Another wide receiver that is intriguing, but not the most intriguing, but just semi-intriguing, Alan Lazard. Where do you think he'll go?
I think great possibility he could re-sign with Green Bay because Green Bay doesn't really have any other guys.
They've already said they're not going to re-sign him.
Oh, really? So
yeah, he's already come out publicly that he's probably not going.
Green Bay's gonna have a rough year, then I'd say that. But I don't know. Really, teams that would need a wide receiver, the Bears obviously, they have Claypool and Mooney. Other than that, you need another receiver. I think you need a guy better than.
You don't
Lazard
need a guy like.
Yeah, you need a
they
guy
don't need a guy like Alan Lazard. Like, you've already got a struggling wide receiver core as it is. I mean, the Bears have always had struggling wide receivers, so why get another one?
Yeah, so I guess a team that really, maybe Lazard would be
more of a role piece.
Yeah, really got to see where he ends up.
Where do you think running back David Montgomery ends up?
Hopefully re-signing with the Bears, but the Bears got money, pay a new running back, get a new guy in that system. So Montgomery would probably go to a team that needs a running back. Maybe if Saquon gets released.
I tell you, he's not going to be a Bear.
Yeah, Saquon gets released from the Giants. Maybe the Giants pick up David Montgomery in his place.
I mean, I could see that, but people think running backs are expendable in the NFL. So, I see it only being picked up by a contender, somebody that can contend. Those are the people who normally pay running backs like that. Or you pay like someone with a franchise guy like Saquon. You pay Derrick Henry. You pay Austin Eckler. Those are the only three guys I think you pay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Pay as much money, but like a guy like David Montgomery, who is very good, but the past 2 seasons have had some injuries as much, and you got Khalil Herbert, and then you got to draft another guy in the backfield. I mean, to me, it doesn't make sense to sign someone like Montgomery, even though he is such a good player and such a good guy to have in your locker room. It's not going to work out. I mean, you need to draft somebody new, and that's what they're probably going to do is draft somebody new, and we'll see where this goes. But yeah, Montgomery will go to a contender. I don't know exactly where he'll go. It's very interesting. He might go.
Yeah,
I can see him actually going to somewhere like the Falcons, who need a running back. I mean, Cordell Patterson is their running back, but they can have a guy like, of course, Cordell Patterson, and it was in Chicago for a couple of years. They can get somebody like David Montgomery to come join him in Atlanta. That seems like a nice fitting spot for him. They may be a contender. Depends if Lamar Jackson goes there or not. So who knows?
Yeah, it's really this offseason is really going to be interesting to see how these teams shape out. Like we thought last season was interesting. We'll have to see what this offseason has in store with all these teams being really good. We'll have to see who competes with the Chiefs in the AFC. Obviously, it might be the Bengals again. We'll have to see if another team emerges. But yeah, going to be definitely an interesting offseason. We'll make sure to cover you guys. We'll update you guys on new free agency signings and what we feel up on the upcoming season.
Yeah, there's a couple interesting wide receiver targets and running back targets that I did not mention there. But I think we're going to wrap up this episode right here. It's a little short episode. We got a lot of things going on. But hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And leave a like down below. And we'll see y'all later.
Peace. Thank you for watching this episode of the Anytime Sports Podcast Show. We want your guys' opinion. Comment down below if you want us to cover different sports. We're thinking about covering hockey, baseball, and all other sports. I don't know if we could cover basketball the best, but just because it's the NFL offseason, there's not much information to cover. We're thinking about covering hockey and baseball in our future episodes. Let us know down below how you feel about that.
I like those colors,